Good morning. Welcome to the grand unveiling of yet another day. Another Tuesday unfurls right before you with the cheerful faces and voices that you've become familiar with right here on Wake Up Nigeria.
Yes, indeed. It is, after all, the most anticipated breakfast show on Nigerian television, and we take pride in knowing that, I mean, you could be anywhere in the world, but you chose to start your day right here with us.
Yeah, we don't take that lightly. We don't take it for granted at all, because we know that every passing moment is valuable. Spending it with us is thus golden. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Now, hey, do turn out your hearts for us once again for another awesome experience. No small words these, as we say here. We adjust what the doctor ordered once a day and maybe even 5 times during the weekend if you catch the omnibus.
So once a day is very important.
Yeah.
So you can only take small doses of the beauty of Winfrey. You can only take 1 dose of the exuberance of Mike. But we get them here every day.
Every single day.
When you say dose, I was not checking that. Where did they prescribe that? If you, let's say you have malaria now, say 1 dose of Titi, 2 bottles of Mazino, 5 tablets of Winfrey.
Yeah. Oh.
That's all you need, right?
Wow.
Well, hey, good morning. It's great to be here this Monday morning.
Definitely is. I'm Winfrey, Daniel Okolo.
Oh, you...
Errol.
It's okay, it happens. It's okay. It's okay.
Just take it again. Take 2, take 2.
Good morning. I am Winfrey Agbeleshi.
Yes, sir. So it's bound to happen at
What's
some
between
point.
two of you?
I want to send an apology out to the in-laws. Well, sorry, she's getting used to this. See, it's only the first month or so, so we'll get used to it.
Yes,
in any case, she is Titi Oyisa. And I always remain Mazino Appeal. What can I say? You tuned into the right place for some wholesome family entertainment, certified to entertain you. And of course, hey, stay with us because we've ensured that you enjoy this experience, and that's our job here. I mean, on Wake Up Nigeria.
That's what we're paid for, to make you have a great morning. Remember, you can always stream this show on tvcentertainment.tv and, of course, on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Also, you can download the app on Android or on iOS, depending how you are. It's all good. Social media platforms at TVC Connect is what you should look out for.
So, let's check out what we have on the show. Parenting will be coming your way today. We have Ochuko Daniels coming in. She's a dynamic entrepreneur and professional early childhood practitioner. We're going to be talking with her because she's passionate about child development, and we're going to be discussing the importance of a routine in a child's development.
Then, for an interesting conversation, we have Kolawole Deborah Olubumi, popularly known as Debbie Stixx. She's a very vast drummer, by the way, and coach leader par excellence. She will be joining us soon. Oh, look at that.
And on health this morning, Dr. Omolabake Okunubi is going to be here. Physician with over 16 years medical experience, going to be giving us answers to the question of the myths of asthma. Now, she is an asthma advocate with a good understanding of the Nigerian healthcare space, and we're going to be having this very important conversation a bit later on.
And then Temitakwe Shofela, known popularly as Regal T, is a dynamic gospel minister, a female rap artist, a prolific songwriter, and instrumentalist as well. She joins us for a musical performance later on.
Yes, so
talking about weddings, people celebrate them until it becomes a, you know what I'm talking about.
Look at that wedding gown on.
Yeah, the wedding gown was
See that gown?
tiny. And
Okay,
It was not tiny.
I was actually referring to Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. It's getting deeper and deeper in the courts. Have you guys been following?
it's become a social media frenzy.
It's a
Fiasco, circus, and the tension is more because Johnny Depp has a lot more fans than Amber Heard. So it's becoming like a battle of the fans online, defending. Hold on,
It's
I know where I'm going.
Because when it started, everybody, no matter who, even those who were his fans, were angry with him. So I don't think we should bring it to a fan thing. It's about right and wrong and justice.
Okay.
So let's not bring it to a fan argument.
Okay.
When he had to be taken off Pirates of the Caribbean and all of that, and people were like, okay, if you did this, then go down. But then new revelations being brought to light. So it's not a fun thing. A lot of people who were like, oh, Amber Heard, you went through this, but then find out, look, you even took off his finger.
No, you see, the funny thing is,
So-
I agree with you absolutely. I also agree with what Titi's saying.
Okay.
You're a lawyer here. Maybe you can set me right. But the fact is this, that there's a public jury out, whether you like it or not. With all these new revelations that are coming out, you also have to impute the influence of what that public jury is talking about, or what they're saying, or how it's skewing whatever is happening. I mean, one thing, however, is note this, is these two are very fantastic actors. And everything that's going on in court, quite frankly, is a show. No, it's a fact. Did you see Amber Heard and then my dog stepped on a fly?
I get where you're coming from. But let's say one is an excellent, one of the best
of course, you
actors
can
of
put them on the
all
same,
time.
yeah,
And the second one, they act. So let's just do that. Yeah, that's the part
So we know
I
she's
had.
I think for me, right, I think that for me, it's just aside the evidence coming out, right, different people were talking about different things, right? Of course, it started, as Mike said, and of course, it tilted to Amber's side and all of that. And then information started coming out, right, revelations, and not even from his testimony alone. When you have corroborating statements, right, supporting all of that, from exes to house staff. And all of that, it's literally
Elon Musk is also
and then,
there.
of course, a recording that actually had her saying that, let's see who, literally is going to come up on top.
they'll
This
believe.
kind of-
Yeah,
who
exactly.
they'll believe.
Calling in that
Yeah, she goes like, go tell them that
exactly.
you are the one being abused, you're the one
And
being
let's
victimized, and
see
let's see
who, do you
people
understand,
will listen to you.
Obviously taking
Wow.
taking attention to the fact that she's a woman and all
Yeah.
of that. So,
Wow.
I don't know.
It's a delicate situation.
Very delicate.
Very much.
It's
Very
tilting the other way right now, as of right now, but the trial is still ongoing.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome. This is the news on Wake Up Nigeria. I am Kelly Egiga. We begin in Kano this hour, where President Muhammadu Buhari has again re-echoed his government's resolve to restore peace to every part of the country. President Buhari spoke earlier yesterday at the 58th anniversary of the Nigerian Air Force held at NAV base in that state. The president, who congratulated the NAV and other security agencies for their sacrifices towards peace, assured of his government's continued support. He urged them to remain resolute and committed to their duty. The president claimed that his government has invested much in equipping NAV, which has yielded results and would do even more. The president also promised to enhance the welfare of NAV officers and expressed confidence that Nigeria's security challenges would soon be a thing of the past. Elsewhere, barely 2 months after bandits attack commercial flights have now resumed at the international airports. The bandits had on March 26 launched an attempted invasion of the facility, killing a private security guard attached to the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency in Kaduna State near the outer perimeter fence. Now, they were, however, repelled by security forces attached to the airport. Now, following the attack, commercial airlines flying the route suspended their flight, seeking improved security. It appears efforts have been made to allay fears of airline operators as the first commercial flight since the incident landed at the airport in Kaduna State at exactly 8 a.m. on Monday morning. The passengers are now expressing delight over the resumption of flight services in that state. Away from security stories now, talking finance, and let's tell you that the federal government and the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit have won the case against the state governors over the financial autonomy from the local government's joint account. Now, Justice Yangekwo of the Federal High Court delivered the ruling earlier on Monday in favor of the federal government. The NFIU had in June 2019 issued guidelines aimed at curbing crime vulnerabilities created by cash withdrawals from local government accounts by various state governments. The Nigerian Governors Forum, NGF, sued the federal government and NFIU for interfering with state government powers to initiate transactions on local government joint accounts, citing provisions of the 1999 Constitution. Now, while reacting to the judgment, the director and CEO of the NFIU, Modibo Tuko, said the judgment is good because the federal government is always ready to protect both states and local government by making funds available for their governance responsibility. Well, we can only look forward to the Lagos FA Cup, which begins in Lagos here on Wednesday. And that does it for us here on News at this time. Thank you so much for your company. I'll be back on the other side of 8 with more top stories. I am Kelly Egiga. We urge you to stick around here for the rest of Wake Up Nigeria, but back in just a moment. Good morning.
Thanks so much for joining us. It's about time for us to take a quick look at what's happening on the covers of the dailies this morning. We're going to start with the Punch newspaper. Today's Tuesday, March 24th, 2022. APC primary, or rather presidential primary, is right at the top there. Lagos, Borno lose jumbo delegates. Again, party shifts senatorial poll. Page 2 has more on this. Kano, Katsina, Oshun, Oyo, Akwa Ibom, 5 others command numerical strength. Buhari meets aspirants Wednesday, and reps postpone resumption over primaries. Beside the masthead there, it says cashless transactions hit 117.33 trillion naira in 4 months, according to NIBS. NSIA grows net assets by 19% to 920 billion naira. It also says here, Air Force marks 58th anniversary. Buhari insists service postponed, or rather positioned, to tackle challenges. And you can see that's following the photo story there. Telcos protest 90 billion naira new phone tax to bill subscribers. Again, sit-at-home paralyzes Imo, Anambra, banks, schools shut. Page 44 has more on that. Lagos explosion, gas plant owner dies. Lawyer insists on 800 million naira compensation. And basically, that's what we have on the cover of the Punch. We have the Daily Trust with us this morning as well. It says here, IPOB kills woman, 4 kids, 6 other northerners in Anambra. They're killing us every day, Hausa community leader says here. Northern group blames hate campaign by regional agitators. Enforce anti-terrorism law in Southeast, says expert. And communities shielding criminals, says police commissioner. It says anxiety as APC NWC meets. Mum on screening of Osinbajo, Tinubu, others. Nigeria's GDP grows by 3.11% in Q1. And I'll wrap it up with this one. Looters shouldn't escape justice again. Buhari warns judiciary. Page 5 has more on that. That's what we have on the cover of the Daily Trust. And all we have time for on the covers of the dailies for this morning.
Now I'm trying to be Titi Amajino now. Somebody or something, or some institutions are not doing something right. Oh, how well did I do?
You tried.
It's all right, man. So, about 3 weeks plus ago, or just a little bit under a month, this text came into my phone. And it goes, Dear Mr. Mesikeno, welcome to blah, blah, blah bank. Your new account number is 1578334. 4919. That's a little before 197. Dial, there's a code. If I give you the code, you know. Visit www to enjoy easy banking. And now this bank, I have never had any.
Never stepped into it?
I've never had. Maybe when they were, okay, if I say that one, you know the bank. But then another text comes in that your DBA monthly fee has been reviewed and all that. Oh, wow. And so this has been so I just left it on my phone, right? And then yesterday, now this happened yesterday, I go to this particular thread on social media, and then I see a number of people who are calling out banks, about 3 or 4 of them.
Wow.
And then some people went as far as sending messages to this particular bank, and then one actually got a response that these people actually know what they're doing. Some accounts are being opened with people's names and details. Some don't have pictures in banks. Even in banks that you already have an existing account.
They're opening duplicate accounts for you.
So this is what I did. I tagged the bank. I didn't get a response. And then under the bank, I now tagged Central Bank. And that was,
you get a response.
And then they now told me, come into the DM.
Calm down. Don't be shouting off your mic.
So I will send the DM today, but I called someone in Abuja who knows someone in ICPC, and they was like, oh, yes, this is going to happen to a friend of mine. She walked into her bank. She has an existing account. And then she goes, I didn't. Why did you guys? And there's a second account with her name.
Did you have the same experience?
I had exactly the same thing. I went to open a dollar account. And then all of a sudden, she's sending me 2 account details. She's telling me, oh, no, one is dollar, one is naira. And I'm like, okay, I have enough naira. I want a dollar. And she's telling me that, oh, no, sorry, I just thought...
You didn't think, don't think for me.
sister. I collected one form. I filled one form. Why did you duplicate? Do you understand?
The information.
She was just being proactive. I said,
And don't be
Well, at least you
proactive.
walked into the same bank and then they duplicated an account for you. But where you did not have any relationship with a bank and then
The
you're opening
bank,
accounts for
actually,
you, like in
that's-
your
that's
case.
crazy.
But this is the thing. This is what you should expect when people are put under pressure, and then you have a platform where banks can simply just go and retrieve information from and just help. I'm talking about the whole BVN platform now, and that's what they're doing.
Yes.
They're opening accounts based on the information, the data that they already have. Now, talking about the pressure that I mentioned from earlier, my wife works at a bank, I'm not telling you which one, and I can tell you what pressures these people actually go through to open these new accounts.
Crazy.
It is so overwhelming that sometimes she's like, I'm done, and then tomorrow again she's wearing her suit and she's going back there.
Yeah.
It is a means to open more accounts, more and more accounts, and I don't know where the lines could be drawn. I don't know whether there are any lines to be drawn. I don't know whether they have any rights to actually take your information.
More
and then start
accounts
accounts
mean
for you.
more dues and more fees. All those tiny
Very
trickle
true.
monies that come into the bank.
Yes.
It means that they can charge. And I do believe there's some fine print somewhere in the very first form you filled with that bank, if you did fill a form with that bank, that says that they have the right to, use this information within the bank. So I received a call, saying that, I was eligible for a particular loan facility, right? But in order to access that loan facility,
have an account.
you have to open another account. I'm like, okay. So, but that's the thing.
At least you know that they're going to do that.
What is wrong with using that very same account for the loan facility? Isn't it going to be based on what is going into that very
So
first
they want to
account?
attract those extra dues.
So why do I need a second account for you to be able to give me? In the
There
end,
is also the...
I just ended up just saying no.
There is also the instance where if you use certain apps, then they open related
fresh
accounts,
one.
fresh accounts for you with other banks. You are not. Sometimes you're alerted to the fact that if you want to use this app, we're going to open this account for you. But I have used one of those apps, and then all of a sudden I got a text from a bank saying, "Welcome, hey."
So what happens
I'm
is
like,
that,
I don't
so what
know
happens
you
is that
guys.
sometimes, like you said, they notify you,
Yeah.
but then it's in their terms and conditions that opening this under this fintech app or something.
Yeah.
they
Perhaps
give-
I didn't read the fine print.
So it's
fine
there.
print.
So, but now the point we're trying to say is that where is the line being drawn? If somebody should want to launder money and put something into there, I will be picked up.
Are you receiving details of?
I received the details, so
exchanges?
I send that message and then I'll keep it all down. So if something happens tomorrow and all that, I say, look, Benny, I tag Central Bank.
Yes.
My point is, the Central Bank, ICPC, whatever body is responsible for this, I think this shouldn't be happening.
There needs to be some sort of investigation, or at least let the customers know exactly where your rights are and how far these banks can go with all of your details. For me, the details are the problem, because if you have my details, you can do anything with my
them.
identity,
Now,
especially with the whole NIN thing.
Talking about the rights, right, and where the line should be drawn. So I was going through the Customer and Consumer Protection, which was actually released by the CBN a while back and all of that. And it actually states that consumers have the right to know all their choices, select the choices they want without being pressured to do so. And when they do, every detail as regards that particular choice should be explained to them in a detailed manner. To me, that interprets that you can't open, no matter the information you have, except that expressly said, and you explain to me, okay, fine, this is what the Naira account is going to be open for you, and all of that.
Have you ever tried
so
closing
if it's
an
not,
account?
It's really...
Sometimes you go and bring your grandmother's left finger.
It's impossible to close an account in Nigeria.
Ridiculous process that is almost impossible.
I just like what you said. This comes in for some account. I told them I don't want text again. Send me
Exactly.
email.
Yes,
Because I don't see your text charge for a month is 360 naira.
Yes. So I think everyone should actually go through, because this is by the CBN, and should know your rights so that you know, when the bank is definitely
It's actually
overstepping.
really... And I do believe there should be a limit to the number of accounts one individual
Should be able to have. That is very true. Yeah.
No matter the
If you've
number of
experienced
banks.
this, do let us know. Use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on
TVC.
hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. Yes, and maybe let's start a movement. Let's stop all of this. I call it what's the word? Haranguing into one of those rubbish thingamajig. But tell us what you think. Use that hashtag I told you from before. We'll be back.
So it's time for our parenting segment to start. Now, we have Uchuku Daniels with us. Now, she's a dynamic entrepreneur and professional early childhood practitioner. She's passionate about child development, and we're going to be discussing the importance of routine in a child's development. Welcome back to the show,
Thank you for having me all the time.
Okay, so for those that don't understand exactly what routine means, could you give a little breakdown?
Okay, so routine is just a sequence of activities that you do regularly. Okay. And experts say that routines, become a habit. Okay. And it takes for you to have carried out the activity for at least 66 times.
Wow.
Before you form that habit. Yeah.
So routines become habits?
Yes, routines become habits, and they're actually for children. They actually shape you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that we should advocate routines, especially in our own part of the world, because children become a little bit discomforted, like uncomfortable when they don't know what to expect. Okay. From very little, when you establish routine, because we are introducing the children to the world, yeah. Routines help them to know what to expect and be calm. So it gives them that emotional peace, even for children who are not able to speak yet or express themselves yet. Routines help them to know what's coming next, okay. And then they are relaxed.
Okay, so for the newer parents out there, they probably have infants, babies crawling, around the house, or a baby crawling around the house at this point. When do you think is the best time to start putting a routine in place?
Oh, routine should start immediately from when the child is born.
Okay.
Diaper time, sleep time, meal times, play time, daddy's time. Everything should have a routine, because the child is just absorbing the world. So it's what you present to the child that the child actually lives by and forms their personality by. So routines helps, especially when it's consistent, helps to build a structure around the child. Children are known to test boundaries, no matter how little they are. Okay. So routines actually help children to work with you as a parent, because when you set the boundaries and they know there's a consequence of breaking those boundaries, it helps them to retreat. It's just like in Montessori, we advocate freedom within limits. Okay. So it's the same actually for routines. Okay. Yeah, routines, but then
boundaries.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to touch on the average young, I'm going to say infant, toddler age now, because there are parents who are presently going through sleepless nights because these children wake up routinely. They've just, they just wake up at night for whatever reason. Most of the time you ask the question, why does baby cry? To answer that question, there are different things that cause a baby to cry or a child to cry or be agitated. But then how does a parent create such a routine that's more comfortable for them?
See, I'm smiling already because as a parent, I would say if you're having a hard time, you actually brought it on yourself. Wow. Because if you knew better, children will respect the routine you create for them. Okay. So, for example, if a child is to be fed, say, every 2 hours, the mother can plan around before those 2 hours to sort themselves out, rest some bit, change their clothes, have a bath, and then there is no disorganization. There's a bit of structure, and the mother is not ruffled up.
So I love that word, ruffled up, because there's something my mom always says, the parents are in charge, not the child.
Exactly.
A lot of babies have sort of taken over. They've taken over the home. Kids have taken over such that parents don't feel like they're in charge anymore.
That's because the parents allow them. So a child doesn't know anything from when they are born. So you actually bring them in. So if you bring them in a structured manner, they will live with you in a structured manner. Your child should never cry, really. When they cry, it should be like an expression of attention, But then if you follow routine on when diapers change, when, like, our school is the crèche is very quiet. People wonder. I've heard of crèches giving medication to children to sleep. You don't need all of that. If you have everything all timed out, the child will even respect that. And when it's time to sleep, for example, the floor bed, the child just crawls to the floor bed and lays and sleeps off. I never really needed to pat my children to sleep. Even though I wasn't a Montessori expert then, I was a Montessori parent. My kids always, you know, went to bed smoothly. And it's good to separate them from you in time, because parents who just live by allowing the children to take over their lives don't do very well.
Okay, so there's a parent now that's just realizing all this, you know, is basically because they've not put a structure in place. They're watching us right now, and their child is probably climbing on their head as they're watching. What can they do? Where do they start from?
They can start now. They can start by timing the food, the change, the bath time. They can start now. And the beauty of it is that the moment you implement structure, children, they learn faster than adults. They are going to, you know, take it in immediately, and they are going to work with you. So they can actually start now.
Some children are stubborn, though.
Yes, so it's not easy. Children don't have a perception of time. Like when you say in 30 minutes, they don't understand how to break down that 30 minutes. But when you introduce routine, like we're going to do this activity, naturally, there is an internal clock that helps them to conform. You know, and that clock, it works with every children all over the world. That's why they crawl at the same time, walk at the same time, about the same time, they tooth about the same time. So as a parent, once you start implementing routine, children just get it.
Okay, so I'm about to wrap this up now, but you know, there's some early learners, they've just started a school, and schools have different routines. Now, is it advisable that a parent sort of implement the routine of the school from the beginning, or do they just adjust the child when they get to school? Okay, so as a parent, I would probably first make early inquiries, get the school's routine, and begin to do like baby steps from home. So my child doesn't automatically bumps into it. You know, more like autopiloting. You program the child to be ready. And then when it's time, they just smoothly glide in. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Ochukwu, again, and hopefully someone at home has learned a thing or two. We'll be online with our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. If you have any questions, we'll do what we can to answer them. We're going to be heading for a quick break now, but we'll be back after this.
Okay, that was quite an interesting watch. And we have Kolawale Deborah Olubumi, popularly known as Debbie Stixx. She's a vast female drama coach and a leader par excellence. It is great to have you. Welcome. That was you,
Thank you. Yes.
When was that video shot?
That was just 2 weeks ago. 2
weeks ago? Yeah. You were in church, yeah?
Yes, I'm currently on a tour. So 7 different churches for 7 Sundays. So that's the 3rd Sunday.
That was the 3rd Sunday. Yes, let's talk about drumming. How did it all start for you?
I would say basically, I used to tell people that it started when I don't even know, because I grew up to meet myself playing drums. Yes.
How so?
Like, I just enjoyed, anytime I just want to be rehearsing. I just want to do something. I just want to stay with the drums.
Would you remember the first time you ever came in contact with the drums? Either the first time maybe you fell in love with it. Can you remember?
Yes, that would be basically like 5 years. Yes. The interesting thing is just to always stay before any drummer to just watch. Even while I'm in church, I want to just go and see the drummer. When I'm taking back to the children department, I'll find my way back to the church just to view. And I thank God for the kind of parents that I had. They were able to support. That's just a beautiful thing.
So you just when you see the drummers, that's how the love just always
the passion keep coming up and
all of that.
Yes, I started.
Did anybody tell you, or do you ever feel like there was any pushback, like maybe a woman shouldn't drum?
Yes, I had.
Are you serious? Talk to me about that.
You know, when I started growing up, then we had few drummers, female drummers. Like they'll tell you, this is a male gender thing. So what are you doing there? But when it's your passion, it takes, even to now, at least last year, a pastor was telling me, no, you have to drop this. I don't know why you're playing drums. I was like, really? At this stage? That's too wrong. So it happens, but when you know where you're going, you just have to keep pushing. And I thank God that I did not relent.
What doors have opened due to the fact that you're a drummer? What has happened to you?
A lot of, even currently now, like sometimes I just look back and I say, God, I thank you. That's just it. I had an interview with BBC last year, and that was a great one because everybody was like, wow, Debbie, really? So this thing is, you know, whatever you're doing, you just have to be consistent about it. And I thank God I'm consistent, and it's really paving way.
Yeah, how far do you expect to take this? What is the dream? What are you looking at?
The dream has always been, and it will currently be, to influence as many people as possible.
I like that.
Especially the female gender.
I like that.
Yes, because then when I started, we never had a lot. But I'm proud that we have a lot of females doing this now. At least I think that I'm a pace setter for every female. Oh, Debbie Stixx, no, I want to do this. Even there's some that I don't even know. They just text me, oh, Debbie, you're really encouraging me. No, seeing you is encouraging me and giving me the head. Oh, if Debbie can do this, then I can. So my vision is to encourage the female genders, support them as much as possible, take my ministry out of the four walls of this country. I want to launch out to every part of the world.
I like that part about encouraging females to do that. I just wanted to talk to females out there. You know, because of what you've gone through, some of them they want to start into professions that maybe are male-dominated.
Yes.
You understand? What kind of challenges would they have to encounter, and how can they overcome these kind of challenges if it comes their way?
Yes, the challenges is just going to be discouragement. They'll be discouraged. At times, you know, if you're not careful, imagine it's a men's world.
Is
so,
it?
Yes,
are you sure?
yes, like I'm talking about music, like drumming, playing the instrument. They tell me, like, especially in Nigeria, they tell me, like, it's meant to be guys' things. But if you really want to launch into that, you just have to, you don't have to look at every side attractions, just focus. That's what
truth be told, I think I've seen female drummers, but it's female keyboardists. That one is have you ever worked with a female keyboardist?
I have a lot of them. I have every guitar, bass, lead, keyboard, drum, whatever.
Now let's go to the basics now. Starting playing drums for someone who wants to learn drums. What is the most important thing for somebody who wants to learn drum playing? What is the most important thing for someone to know when you want to learn how to play the drums?
When you want to learn, you just have to know first and foremost the basics. And we have the practical and the theory aspect, but most times people neglect the theory aspect. They just want to launch into playing the drums. They don't want to, you know, a lot of people just believe that, oh, drumming is just about holding your sticks, eat something. No, it's beyond that. You have to know the basics. You have to know, at least some people don't even know, oh, it's just a drum. They don't know what it entails. Oh, this is a cymbal. This is an hi-hat. This is snare. They're just playing. So you just have to, once you want to really launch into that, it's not just about jumping. That's like my students, I tell them, when you want to train them, they expect you the day they start the training, you take them to the drums. Immediately, I tell them, no, it's not done like that.
Oh, you train?
Yes, I train people.
Well, talk to me, how does that work? Do they pay to get trained, or is this something you do voluntarily?
Yes, it depends. But for the female gender, I've always wanted to do something for them. So even if I'm getting paid like 20,000 for a male gender, I'll tell you, anything you have, just give me.
Okay, I understand. Considering that you said you're trying to encourage other people and all of that.
Yes, especially female gender.
Okay, especially female gender. Now you mentioned there's the cymbal. Now I've seen drum sets. I know there's the basic, the basic drum set is 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes.
That's 3 drums.
Yes, that's
and 2 cymbals.
Yes, 2 cymbals.
That's your basic drum set.
Yes, that's
but then there are wider ones.
Yes.
Talk to us about maybe the variety and all of that.
It depends on how big you want it to be, or how much you can make use of it. You have crash cymbals, you have ride, you have splash, you have the hi-hat, you have the snare, you have the floor tom, the first tom, and the second tom.
So that means that in the biggest ensemble you've ever played, how many drums were there?
Oh, the biggest was I had like maybe 5 sets, but you're going to enjoy a lot of cymbals because as a drummer, I love cymbals a lot. Like anybody that knows me, I hate the cymbals. So I always love any drums set. And we have different kind of products. We have the pearl drums. Just like myself, I got a pearl drum last year. Like it's just mine. A fan got it for me last year, November.
Right. Wonderful. I'll just finally want to ask this one. Have you ever thought of producing music production? Because because as a drummer, there's a time when I used to play with some software, and these are the basics of software. Then you have cymbals. Have you ever thought about it? Have you ever tried to do something in that region?
That's always a future of any drummer. It's either you're a producer, or you're just launching into anything DJ, or someone diverting to ministry full time. So that's just it. Yeah.
All right, Debbie. It was refreshing talking to you, and here's wishing you the best. See you at the top.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Done. Okay.
It's all good. You guys, welcome back. Second hour here. The first hour is always that one that gets you out of bed, is what we like to say here on Wake Up Nigeria. The second one, however, well, it's for good measure. We like to say that's what puts the spring in your step for a Tuesday.
Yeah. The second hour is the next step into setting off on your Tuesday activities. Have the kids brush their teeth? Are they in the school bus? We want to be right there when all that is happening, because we've taken great care to ensure that we calculated just the right amount of spring for you to get through your morning activities.
Yes, indeed.
Did you just say boing?
I just boinged.
Why?
Yeah, boing is put a spring in your step, you know. Now, if you've made the decision to stay here on this dial, hey, then you've made the right choice. Thank you very much. Welcome to another 45 minutes of entertainment for all the family, if they're not going to school, if they're faking sickness. Because do you kids do that?
No, they're actually really interested in school.
Which is very funny. My daughter never, if she loves school, she can't wait to get back to school each time she falls ill. She wants to go back to school.
Kids these days are not like us.
Exactly. I dreaded school. I wasn't bad at it, but I actually did dread it. But it's all good. Hopefully you guys are all entertained if you're still at home.
It's never complete until you've gotten that entire dose of what the doctor ordered. 45 minutes of well-curated entertainment for your viewing pleasure.
Yes, indeed. My name is Mazino Appeal, and we are eager, as you are, of course, for the next hour. Whatever unfolds inside of it, well-curated, like we said.
My name is Titilaya Oyinson. Now, this is the Tuesday edition of Wake Up Nigeria. We have the stream going right now, and a lot of people are right there in our e-community. Hi, e-community.
Hello, people.
www.tvcentertainment.tv, and of course on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Yeah, looking forward to all your comments. Please make sure that you write them. Don't think we don't read them. We always do. It keeps us connected to you guys, and we love the fact that you guys are out there.
Those comments are very important. Very.
They make us feel beautiful.
Wow, thank you. They do a very good job, even though you are not complimenting us today. It's fine. It's all right.
Come on, girl. I did say you look beautiful today.
No, you didn't.
And she broke my heart this morning when she said,
I didn't.
I only have her time now because Mary is not here. Why would you do that?
It's the fact, no?
Oh, come on.
Well, download the app if you want to see how this goes down. Android or iOS. One click and no stress.
All right, now for what's up. On health, Dr. Omolabake Okunubi, a physician with over 16 years of medical experience, would be here to give us answers to the question, what are the myths of asthma? She is an asthma advocate with a good understanding of the Nigerian healthcare space. So, hey, who better to talk about it than her?
Temi Tokpe Shofela, popularly known as Regal T, is the dynamic gospel minister, female rap artist, and prolific songwriter and instrumentalist. She's going to be joining us for a performance very soon.
And we wrap everything up with a bow for you guys with entertainment news as we talk about the grand finale of the Nigerian Idol Season 7, which took place last weekend. This and much more coming up inside of entertainment when we get started on that one.
Yeah.
Inside information. Mike just scoffed. I don't know why you scoffed.
Why?
Oh, so
what was that?
I was thinking, you know, how many of you have ever been in a competition, by the way?
I've never been, but
Like
I know you have experience.
I have.
You have?
Yes.
No, apart from...
I was in West African Idol 2007.
That's true, actually.
Okay.
Really?
So
You sing?
Yes, I do.
Album, 10-track album.
Something I want to say here is this. It's been, as you're raising your kids, try to ensure that they go for at least one major competition in their life.
Yeah.
They need it.
Yeah.
Because, look, no matter how much more some people want to tell you and say, oh, you are here for yourself. You are not here for yourself. You will be competing.
Yeah, very
so
true.
so I was thinking about it, and you know, there's something about the underdog. People love the underdog at times, but then when you have a favorite who has been, maybe from the beginning, has done something so well, I guess to the point that then they finally win, I kind of feel like a little bit disappointed. I love drama.
You like the underdog story, so do I. Something you said that is very, very, very true and very interesting is when you're pushing your kids into competitions, you sort of want them to win, but the truth is there's a gem in actually losing.
Yeah. Yes,
because when they learn to lose, they know that it's not all out there for them. You can't always win. There's also that emotion that they need to learn to use when you lose. You know, it's a springboard. It's, you know, to getting better. So it's actually very important. Along with that, when your kids reach that preteen age or teen age, I think you should also set them into a bit of business. Let them get to know finance, exactly. Let them get to know how spending, losing money, also gaining money, how it, you know, is a big part of the world they're about to step into when they're older.
I wanted to touch on something there with the spending and financial thing you talked about. At the supermarket, you know, you're with your kids and then they want something. Maybe there's a sweet or biscuit or something they want. Telling them no is also very important.
Also, it is very important. I feel telling kids no is one of the best things you do to them. Because I know parents who never told their kids no. Life showed them. In fact, there was this particular neighbor said, I didn't tell my dad, please.
Are you okay?
I'm telling you. It was like, it was like, please. How will I tell my dad and my mom, please?
Well, I understand how that is possible. Especially if you have an only kid, like you know, I have an only kid, and I always just want to provide for them and for her and everything. Like Winfrey here, that grew up without hearing, you know, and everything. She seemed the kind. She's like, yo, daddy loves me. So she'll get my daddy.
You say please.
I don't think you heard the number of no's I've heard in my life.
Really?
From the kind of dad, from the family,
kind of family I come from.
Really?
Being here is a no.
That's what I said.
Hello, good to see you again. You're watching the news on Wake Up Nigeria, and we absolutely appreciate it as always. I am Kelly Egiga. Let's tell you that the Department of State Services, DSS, has disowned one Adio Oluwole Bashiru, who claims to be a former staff of the security agency that led the team that arrested the suspected killers of David Moore, a sound engineer who was killed in Lagos about 2 weeks ago. Mr. Bashir, in an online publication, had claimed further that the killers of the sound engineer who were of Hausa origin were exchanged with Christians. However, the DSS, in a statement signed by its spokesman, Peter Afunaya, said Mr. Bashir is neither a serving nor a former staff of the service, but a mere impostor out to smear the agency for personal gains. The DSS states that the write-up is completely false and frowns the calculated efforts to use its name for malicious purposes. It therefore requests the public to disregard the misleading narrative. The service also warns that those bent on throwing the country into violence to retrace their steps and give peace a chance. On the international scene now, Nigeria, the topics to be discussed at this year's World Economic Forum include the energy crisis, inflation, climate change, and world food crisis, amongst others. Now, many of these issues are related to the Ukraine war, and that is why it is on focus. We have details in this report. On the streets of Davos, it is a coincidence that the coat of arms of the Alpine village bears the same colors as Ukraine, but it fits these times and this World Economic Forum. No Russian officials or companies are present at the international gathering of political and industrial leaders, but a Ukrainian delegation, including the foreign minister, has made the journey. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky spoke to the WEF via video link, where the wartime leader gave leaders an update on the Russian conflict. The Ukrainian leader opened his speech by asking attendees at the World Economic Forum to consider the significance of this year's theme, History at a Turning Point. Mr. Zelensky says this year the theme is more than rhetoric, instead it is symbolic of a war going on right now. He says the world can't be ruled by brute force, before pointing to the Russia War Crimes House set up near the events in Davos as evidence of the state being full of war criminals. Mr. Volodymyr Zelensky goes on to say Ukraine has set a precedent in the last few months, showing the length of a country, showing the lengths a country will go to fight for its freedom. He also calls for maximum sanctions to be imposed on Russia. There are no such sanctions in place at present, he adds, before setting out the measures he believes should be in place, including a full embargo on Russian oil, all Russian banks barred from global systems. Also, no trade with Russia. President Zelensky rounded off his address by quoting former U.S. Secretary of State George Marshall, whose European Recovery Program helped rebuild Western Europe following the devastation of World War II. He says Mr. Marshall's famous words that his recovery plan did not oppose any country or ideology, but did oppose hunger, poverty, despair and chaos are still relevant today. Well, that does it for us here on the news at this time. Thank you so much for your company. I am Kelly. Good morning.
This one is a very important part. We have health right up now. Dr. Omolabake is a physician with over 16 years of medical experience, and she's here to give answers to the question, what are the myths of asthma? She's an asthma advocate with a good understanding of a Nigerian healthcare space, passionate about reducing the morbidity and mortality of asthma in Nigeria and Africa at large. You're welcome, Doctor.
Thank
Great
you.
to have you.
Good to be here. Good morning.
So personally, what do you have? Pardon me. Was there at any time? Do you have any experience with asthma or someone close to you and all of that? Where did the passion come from for asthma patients?
Good morning once again. Thank you very much. Of course, like you rightly said, being a doctor, obviously, I've had a lot of experience with my patients. I mean, those were my first, and over the years, I've lost a lot of patients from asthma. Perhaps maybe they come in too late at the emergency. Before we make an intervention, they die. I've lost about 2 or 3 friends from asthma. I lost a colleague. I mean, I've known so many people with asthma. But over the years, I then realized, based on, what I know now in terms of, awareness, my place of work, what I've, been exposed to, I realized that asthma patients shouldn't suffer in terms of, they shouldn't die as a result of their symptoms. So many studies and so many newer medications have proven that people with asthma can actually have control of their symptoms. That means they can go on days, weeks without their symptoms by taking certain medications. Okay, and so for me, that was like a major eye-opener. I mean, so many years ago when I came across this, and since then it's been, advocating it, educating people, members of the public, families, and all of that.
So there are a lot of myths about asthma.
Absolutely.
What are the most common ones? And please dispel them as fast as you can.
Absolutely. I think one of the major myths about asthma is that, it's something that should be stigmatized about. I mean, one should, when you talk about stigmatization, you really means that something that you should be worthy of disgrace, or something that you should be ashamed of.
This is 2022, guys.
Absolutely. So people still look at patients with asthma and think, oh, there's something wrong with you. I don't want to move with you. I don't want to associate with you. You can see people having exacerbations when they should actually get them to the hospital as soon as possible. People are saying, I don't want to come close. It's contagious. If I come close to this person that has asthma, I may also end up contacting it or contracting it, as the case may be. So people still have those kind of things. And, a lot of times when I talk about, breaking some of this myths of asthma, it's like any other ailment. Like if you have a headache, for instance, and I tell you, please, can I have Panadol? You won't look at me funny and think, oh, you should be ashamed that you have a headache. And that's the same thing with asthma. The fact that I'm taking my inhaler or I'm taking my medication for asthma, it's not something I should be ashamed of. Some people think, oh, it's some chronic cough that would go away. You don't need to take anything. Of course, some people believe that asthma, once you start using your inhaler, that's the end of your life. And
that is wrong.
That's absolutely wrong. Okay, like I said, it's like any other ailment, malaria, whatever, any other ailment that you have. The only difference is that malaria is not chronic. And when I mean chronic, it means that asthma almost, I mean, you continue to have it. It's not something that you would have it at this point and then you don't have it again. Even if you have it as a child, you may actually go into a time when you don't have the symptoms and then suddenly you may have it again.
Again.
Yeah. So it's not something that you say, oh, I have a headache and I'm not going to have a headache again for the rest of my life. You know, it's something that is there because it's chronic. You would always have it based on some things that had happened in your airway prior to, to that part. Yeah, so it's not something that is of your doing, So these are some of the things that we see. And some people say, oh, when I start taking the inhaler, I'm going to get addicted to it. And so I don't want to use an inhaler. The inhaler is actually the best way of delivering the medication into the airway. It's just it's a way of getting the medication across to the airway in the faster way. So when you use an inhaler, it means that the medication is going directly into the airway, so it works faster. That's what it means. Which is where the ailment is, compared to when you have to take tablets or some other form of medication. So it reduces the side effects of the drug, or like you would have, when you take any medication, you may have, it goes into your system, your bloodstream and all that, and then the lungs will then take its own, all that. But with the inhaler, it's just a way of delivering the medication in an appropriate way. So if people understand that, the fact that I'm using an inhaler doesn't mean, oh my God, this one is for even though for patients of asthma themselves. These are myths that they sometimes you find out that these myths are also being generated by the patients themselves. Because they feel like, if I'm using an inhaler, that means everybody's going to think, oh my God, my case is so bad. You get patients.
At one point, I was in school at a point, and using an inhaler seemed elite. It was elite. I'm telling you.
So that's also a myth. There's nothing elitist about it.
Yeah, it was like, oh, it's cool. This guy has rich man sickness.
There's nothing elitist about it, and there's nothing degradable about it as well.
Exactly.
So it's just a way of, just the same way you swallow your medication. It's just a way of passing the medication across. The fastest way, like I said, it gives less side effects when you use it, and it works faster. And the medication is just like using, if you have a bite and use a topical medication, and I apply the cream on my hand rather than taking a medication that would work on that. It works faster when I apply directly to where it is needed.
Wow, I like that. So that is what it is.
That's exactly what the inhaler does. It takes the medication directly into the airway where it is needed. So within about, for instance, if you're having an exacerbation, within about 5 minutes you'd have the control. You would have relief, basically. And of course, the controller, like we've been talking about in the past weeks, where, the medication is taken on a daily basis to prevent your symptoms. You take it there and it works faster as well to help,
clear.
And so
you are an exciting and interesting person to talk to. I wish we had all the time. And also, it's not village people.
No.
It's not
absolutely,
a spiritual attack.
I think that's also another thing.
Another one.
People feel like it's a spiritual attack, or my village people have come to mess up with my family or my case. Absolutely not. When we have malaria, we don't think it's village people.
Some people do, by the way.
Oh, really?
Well, Doctor, thank you. It was a pleasure having you.
Same here.
And we'll still have you before more rounds up.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that was it. Hope you're able to pick one or two things there on our discussion about the myths concerning asthma.
Of course, the rest of the team also appreciate the fact that you are here, don't you guys?
Yeah.
We definitely did.
Yes,
By the way, I just want to call out that greatest showman. They
Mike,
should have just talked to
it was not necessary.
Baby Wala Colombo.
Okay, no, can I say something, Mike? Now that you've said it, now, I did not think that was the best performance. I did not think it was the best performance for the entire show. I think it was actually one of the worst. I didn't want to say this initially, but I thought that I was just very excited that IK was a part of that performance. Sorry. But it was a decline.
My brother,
for me.
even if you want throw blow, did you have to do it like that?
I'm sorry.
The costume was nice, okay? No, because we have to give them something. Let's not thank God. The people that sold the clothes will not try, but the performance and the person well organized.
Yeah, this year's Nigerian Idol, they did produce it, and it was great. I mean, they did a lot compared to others that we see, but then again, they didn't they overproduced it in my opinion.
I see Mazino and Mike on the stage doing their own. That's when I was It's not easy
but great
putting
job.
together
It's
actually
not.
No,
it's not. It's not.
It's not. So I think
Okay, we want to actually say happy birthday to one of our very special ones.
Yes, so the amazing Yemi and Nicola Pokundi. Auntie Annie, happy birthday from all of us at TVC.
61, 62?
Yes.
Oh,
61.
She looks like 32.
Amazing.
32. She's 32 today.
Yes.
She looks hotter than the average 30-year-old.
What's she say?
Amazing personality, and we all love you here at TVC.
Yes.
Mwah, 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 mwah.
Happy birthday.
Hey. Means we gonna be having some great food here in the studio. Yes, we are waiting for you, Auntie Annie. We are waiting. We can't wait. She's gonna be on Your View before long, and it's gonna be a great.
Yes.
Well, hey, thank you very much, everybody. It's been fantastic for a Tuesday. Catch you guys for a Wednesday edition. Thank you, everyone, including you, Esther.
For having me.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.